coming by.
So the people that are in your area do not belong in the trailer park.
Correct. My, our manager and the chief, he knows, he actually went and signed like a whole stack of trespassing forms. As a matter of fact, the other day, 2 squad cars were pulling through our thing and 5 people were coming out with backpacks and their sleeping bags and the whole 9 yards, and they didn't stop them. Instead, they just let them keep coming by, when technically they should have asked them, do you live here? If you do not, give them, I mean, if they're not getting any consequences for being trespassing on our property, not even getting a ticket or a warning or anything, and say, hey, you're trespassing, don't come around here, they're just going to keep coming around, which is what's going on. Nobody's getting any consequences to trespassing, even though Coach, our manager to our thing went to the police station and signed a big stack of trespassing forms, but they're just not being used.
Okay, thank you so much for all your input. We certainly appreciate the information.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else?
No, that's all.
Thank you all for public comments. I'll go ahead and go on to the next item, which is committee member comments.
I'll go. Thank you, Chair. And Chief might be covering this during his report, but I just wanted kind of some information regarding the stats. Since we did put the solicitation ordinance into place, and since we condemned Santa Clara Apartments, I kind of just want to see if traffic has slowed down there. I know it's increased in several other areas, but maybe just, Chief, if it's not in your report, you can always just maybe email me or have a conversation with me. I'm just curious. And then I want to thank Chief and the entire staff, because boy, we've been inundated, Chief, with the other apartment complex in Eliano. I mean, that's another area, you guys, that it's just day in and day in, the number of calls coming to me and then to poor Chief daily. It's incredible. But I do want to kind of just address a little bit and clarify on the opioid settlement, just to let everybody know, we have not received any funding as of yet. So hopefully, as some of that funding comes through, definitely we can get input and decide on what types of programs and things we might be able to put in place. But I did talk to Chief a bit ago when I walked in that it would be great to have a task force at the PD and utilize some of that funding for that to assist, because it's everywhere. And I also want to thank Judge Madrid, who's here today, because in working with some of these clients that had no place to go, that we put in hotels after we condemned Santa Clara Apartments. There was one particular individual, and we're still working with her, right, Judge? But the thing is that, you know, in all honesty, you know, what I said to them was, you have to be honest for me to be able to help you. She had an alcohol problem, but what we did was I placed a phone call, and Judge simply did the smart thing. You know, we didn't put her in jail because that's not the thing to do, right? He did a lot of really smart things, as did Judge Madrid Senior with her on the other side, right? So in order to help these individuals, I think that, you know, we need to first figure out what is the problem, and we can't just put it on our police department because they can't cure the problem. You know, they can arrest them, the judges will let them out. We got to work together with our judges. That's the only way we're going to target this problem. I mean, 14 out of the 21 individuals that were in hotels are now housed and doing well, but it's with the help of those judges and placing a phone call. But there has to be either a caseworker that's fully educated to be able to assist, because I found that that's not the case either in working together with these individuals, with Rio Arriba County, with LifeLink, with all the entities, right? So I think there needs to be a little bit more discussion when we talk about targeting these individuals. And I think that if they're continually hanging out at a certain place, there's a reason for it. Either they're getting sold drugs there, right? There's a reason why they're there. It's the same way, same thing we're seeing in Eliano and in all other places. And so I know in several of the districts, we've had meetings with our constituents. We want to continue to do that. And Chief, if you could as well, I don't know where we're at with Santa Fe County Sheriffs. I know they put together a team to assist, but I've seen very little presence from them. So if you could touch on that, if you have anything to report, I'd appreciate that as well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I'd just like to state this is one of the meetings that I'm really looking forward to. We have recognitions and awards for well-deserving individuals. This is something very exciting, and then some, because they deserve a whole lot more as well. But I think I'll save my additional comments for that time down the agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Dennis. Counselor Didi Valdez has joined us online. Do you have any comments for public safety, Counselor?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Valdez. Thank you for attending. We appreciate your presence. The next item is matters from the chair. I too have the concerns that y'all are talking about. I see the transients throughout the community, and I realize that we displace them when we move them off the medians. But that's not enough. I feel like we really need to work on the trespass issues and making sure that we're citing them for trespass on private properties in the Walmart parking lot, and the Lowe's parking lot, and the Cook's Trailer Park, and all these other areas where we really don't want them to be panhandling or what they do. On the other side of that, I feel like the open settlement is very exciting for the community. I'd really like to see that money reinvested into programs that will help people that are dealing with drugs. One of the things that I have thought of for a long time is that Espanola requires a 24-hour detox center. And the reason for that is because when people are using drugs with the addiction comes the need to fulfill that addiction. And once they fulfill the addiction, then they feel strong enough to say, okay, I don't want this anymore. I want to get straight. That's the time to get them into a detox right there. If that time moves away and the peak starts to happen where they need the drug again, they forget about what it's doing to them because that need is too strong. And I feel like if we had a detox center here and we didn't have to depend on an outside community to take our people when they want to go, I feel like we would have a chance at saving more of these people. So I really feel like that's something that we need to look at. And when I say a detox center, I mean a medical detox center with a medical doctor 24/7 and a nurse 24/7. So nobody has to kick and suffer. So that's something that's very important to me. The other thing that I'm interested in is something that Councilor Benavides talked about, and that's a caseworker. You might ask me, well, why would you want a caseworker? I need to know who we're dealing with. I need to know who's out there. I need to know who they are, what they're about, how long they've been out there, what they're using, if they have children, if they have family in the area, if they don't have family. I need to know what they're about. I need to know how we can help them. And the only way to do that is to form a relationship with these people. There has to be some dialogue happening between this community and that sector. And I feel like if we had a caseworker that was involved on a daily, I mean, we wouldn't go chase these people down, but we would put her in a place that if they knew she was there, they could go see her. Do you know what I mean? Or him. So I think it's something that definitely is something that I would want to invest in, whether it's through opioid money or through the regular budget. I really feel like this is important. And I think these are all opportunities, and I'm hopeful that the city of Espanola will handle this opportunity in the best way to get the most result. On the other side of things, I want to thank the Espanola Police Department. You know, through thick and thin and what is going on with the department, we have a lot of things that are happening staff wise and otherwise. We have some IAs happening and we have other things going on. And still we have guys that show up day in and day out, and they're here on our streets doing what they can. And we just really appreciate them and what they're doing. And then the fire department, I mean, first of all, I'd like to thank the ones that are from the La Jolla Fire Department first and foremost, because at this current time they're displaced because we knocked that department down because we're building a new fire department. So they're actually at a different building. That can't be easy. We have other departments in the building, and I'm sure you're not able to sleep very late or walk around and be comfortable in early morning hours the way you would have in the fire station. So to those people that are displaced, thank you very much for your patience and tolerance. And we're hopeful that that fire station will be up within 5 or 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, maybe a little bit longer. What do you think, John Wick? 6 months? I'm ahead of myself then. Gosh, that hurts my heart. Anyhow, you know, the fire department, you guys all know what I think of you. You guys are amazing. You're the department within the city that I don't have to worry if things are going well, because I don't see one lazy guy in your group. All of you guys are just amazing. So thank you. Oh, concerning other things, Judge Madrid, thank you and your staff. I do have some concerns about the graffiti that's happening. Seems like recently there's been more and more and more, and it seems like there's a graffiti war going on between two different entities. That has me a little concerned. I think the temperatures are warming up. I'm hopeful that we'll be seeing that taken care of relatively quickly. Okay, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. The next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes from the December meeting. Do I have a motion to do so?
So move.
Thank
Second.
you. Thank you both. Any discussion under the minutes? Being none, I'll call for a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar,
For the motion.
Counselor Denise Benavides,
In favor.
Counselor Didi Valdez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also for the motion. Okay, we have ourselves some minutes. Now we have a record. Under items for discussion and recommendation to full council, we go to item B, recognition of the new lieutenants, emergency manager, emergency management administration presented by Fire Chief and Deputy Chief John Martinez and John Wickersham.
Madam Pro Tem, governing body. How can I start this, you know? It's very hard for me to, like I say, when you call the fire department, you get the fire department here. And I've always said it since day one that I have the best team in the state. I can say that about my guys. So we're gonna be showing you a lot of, one of the biggest things that was brought to me when I first became chief was that you guys always turn around and says, we gotta recognize our employees. Because our employees are out there doing everything for our citizens. And if we don't recognize them, you're not gonna know what they've done. And one of the biggest things is that, like I told John, that I've always wanted to do something like this for the longest time for my employees. Because like I tell you, my employees are here for me. I can't explain it in words, you know, how much they mean to me or what they've done to me, for me. But I'm going to be reading a lot of stuff, and I want you guys to really listen to what I have to say and be patient with me and John Wickersham. First of all, I want to read something that I found. 7 rules for a successful fire department. Recently, I read an article about 7 rules for a successful NFL team. As I read it, I couldn't help but applying the rules to a fire department and firefighters. One of the primary reasons for the IFF Labor Management Initiative is to encourage strong relationships with and trust and respect for each other. When we work together, we have a better team. We have better results, and the community receives better service. I thought about the similarities between the two and how the NFL principle would serve us well, and how the communities we serve would reap the benefits. Here are the 7 principles to the fire and the emergency service. Rule 1, use the brains you were born with. Chief officers must use their brains. The fire service is technical and political and requires teamwork. You need to be smart enough to know your team and use the proper talent to get a job done. When chiefs realize they can't do it all themselves, they develop trust in their team and confidence that the proper talent will get the job done. Rule 2, love what you do. If you don't love this job, find something else to do. If you don't love what we do, it will show. The fire service will suffer, our customers will know it, and the department and your career won't be as successful. Maybe we can't trade chief officers and firefighters as they do coaches and football players who aren't performing. But departments make adjustments all the time to ensure the community, elected officials, city officers, chief officers, and all the firefighters meet the promised level of service community needs, and to make sure everyone knows to do their part to deliver that service. If everyone knows the roles, they'll perform it. They'll perform. If they choose not to perform, then they can be held accountable. Rule 3, don't stop if there's a concrete wall in front of you. Run through it or around it. Whatever works, just make it happen. This is where rule 1 comes into play. You have to be smart, use your brain power, talk to each other, find out what other interests are needed in your political environment and what services must be provided. Communicate and get help from the right person. When everyone knows the rules and level of service, that right person will perform. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you need help, find the help and get it done. Your community deserves it. Rule 4, build up your confidence and that of your members. You have to have confidence to pass your recruiting training, to become a journeyman firefighter, to be a union leader or an officer. Whatever you do, don't let that confidence become an ignorance. Your peers and your elected officials will know the difference, and your customers will see right through it. Make decisions with empathy and confidence, in using your brain power, and the right decision will be the result. Rule 5, encourage competition to bring out the best. Like football players, firefighters are competitive. Use this competitive spirit to better serve your community. Smart firefighters competing with each other, competing with other companies, and competing with other chiefs keep your department sharp and always looking for better ways to serve your communities. If we use a competitive juices in every firefighter, we will be challenged to find the best way to respond to our community needs. Don't shy away from competition. It can bring out the best in everyone. Rule 6, remain calm under fire. Just like football players, it's your responsibility to remain calm, confident, and prepared when the action starts. Your job requires you to enter hostile environments that everyone else is leaving. This takes a special person who has the smarts, the confidence, the aggression, and the ability to work as a team member. We need to remain cool under fire back in the situation as well. If you aren't getting along or not part of a team, your performance will show it. The LMI demonstrates ways to resolve differences. So know the rules and resolve issues professionally, and you and your team will be successful. If you can't resolve differences, use the rules and make the appropriate trade-offs to make sure every team is strong. Rule 7, work well with others and be loyal to your department. Disloyalty is the worst of all traits. The me first fighter can hobble any teams for success. We know a winning team is proud, happy, and productive. So if we use our brains, we can figure out how to organize a department. All 3 or 4 shifts work hard towards a single service level goal. When selecting leaders in labor management, look for characteristics that demonstrate loyalty to both the department's goals and the team. If members care only about themselves, they shouldn't be leading. These 7 rules for successful fire departments apply equally to firefighters and chief officers. When you work as a team and are loyal to your department, you'll provide quality service to your community. We don't post stats and results or rank fire departments in order of wins, successes at the end of every season. Maybe we should. What I do know is that if you follow these 7 rules, you'll be a proud team member, and your community will know its department is working as a team. Your community members will be your best fans, and you'll make sure they receive your best team efforts. So after reading all this and stuff, I just want to let you know that, I mean, now we're gonna get into the part where I want you to, we're gonna start recognizing our lieutenants. Our lieutenants that are coming up now are young. They're gonna be our new leaders after I'm gone, after John's gone. Because they got 10, 15 years still to go. But I'll tell you one thing, all my firefighters have always been, have my back, have John's back and stuff. And I just wanted, to let you know when we start giving awards and stuff, and I'm gonna read some more stuff that they've done. And, to let you know, to show you how strong they are and what we've done, for our citizens. So I'll turn the floor over to John Wickersham now.
Thank you, Chief.
So good evening. Thank you for having me, Mayor Pro Tem. Many members, thank you. John Wickersham, Assistant Fire Chief, City of Espanola. So we have 3 lieutenants, 1 per shift. All 3 of these lieutenants passed the same tests to become lieutenants. Nick Mangus was our first lieutenant that we hired probably 2 years ago, I think, Mangus, right? Yeah, if you guys, let's come up. So Nick Mangus has been a lieutenant with us for 2 years. And then the other 2 lieutenants that we have, Zach Logston and Damian Velasquez. These are Zach Logston and Damian Velasquez. They're our 2 newest lieutenants. All 3 lieutenants had to pass a written exam, and then they had to do some oral boards. We brought in 4 other people from outside agencies to come in to conduct these tests, and it's an awesome process. We had a bunch of candidates, a bunch of good candidates, but we let these 4 individuals that came from outside sources help us decide what lieutenant we were going to pick. These 3 were the ones that they picked and we went with. So we're very proud of our lieutenants. We want to bring up their family at this time so we can help pin them. We got them bars. So the bugle, it's what back in the old days what they used to use to call orders and to tell the troops what to do. So it's very significant in the fire service. Lieutenants get 1 bugle. I also want to bring up Pablo Montoya. He's our fire marshal. And since he's a fire marshal, he will have 2 bugles that are crossed. The lieutenants have 1 bugle. So let's bring up their family and we'll go ahead and pin their bugles on their shirts. There's usually a ceremony and a badging ceremony. Since we've already done this, we already gave them their badges. We could take it off, yeah, badge you guys. But this is something significant. We'll have their family come up and we'll actually put their pins on their shirts for them. I think that would be nice. So if you want to go ahead, let's open them up. And if you, Pablo, if you want your wife to come up, we'll pin yours. And then yours too. Yeah, all 4 of you guys, let's bring up your significant others. Yeah, I'll do yours, Zach, if your wife's not here.
A lot of pictures from that. No, let her come. Let her come. Be patient. Davian can hold the baby while she pins him. That'd be nice. That'd be a good picture.
Congratulations.
So you guys can take a seat now. We appreciate it. Thank you guys for what you guys do. Emergency management. Jeff Sargent couldn't be here tonight. But emergency management, they've been a huge help on fire scenes, on any call that we have. They come out and assist, and they've been a huge help. Jeff Sargent's the emergency manager, and then we have Victoria that actually comes out and helps us. And she's actually getting her certificates. She actually passed her first responder training course recently, which is awesome. And we have a little award for her.
Yeah,
as
we have
well.
an award for her. I just want to speak a little bit on Victoria Trujillo. She has been a big part of our department, or our big help for us. We're going through a couple of speed humps that we are going to get through and stuff. But like I say, at this, I want to recognize Victoria. She did get her first responder certificate. She now she's working towards going to doing her test and getting her license. But I mean, it may take her a little bit to pass her test or whatever, but she'll be able to at least know how to save a life or what she needs to do. She did spend 3-4 months of her time. She went Tuesdays and Thursdays from about 6 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and had to drive Tuesdays and Thursdays those days all the way to Dixon to get through this course. And she did it. She studied, and I gave her a hard time. I said, you need to study and study. She studied with her daughter. Her daughter even probably learned a lot of stuff when she was taking this course and stuff. So at this time, I'd like to present you with this.
And she did all this on her own time, which is amazing. She actually is taking a hazmat class now. Also, her and Jeff Sargent are both in this class, along with 2 of our rookies that are going to be going down to Socorro this Sunday, I guess, to take the national test. So they'll be headed down Sunday to take the test.
Let me get a picture. I didn't get a picture of you. Stand up again, reconcile. You're awesome. Thank you. Go ahead, Chief.
So that's it with the recognition of the lieutenants and emergency management. So you want to move on to
Go ahead and.
letter C?
Is the awards and recognition of staff presented by Chief Johnny Martinez and John Wickersham. Firefighter of the Year, EMT of the Year, Life Saving Award, and Exceptional Duty and Commendation Award.
So these next 2 awards that I'm going to give are our Life Savings Award.
Okay.
You hear a lot of times about, what we do out there and the people we encounter and stuff. And the first one that I'm going to read is, it happened here in Espanola, okay? And it happened during the fiestas. I'm sure you guys all heard about it and stuff. So what I did is I did ask the individual to, to write me a little something. I'll how this, how this happened and how they experienced and what went through it. The first one I'm going to read is going to go, it says, he wrote a letter to his acting Lieutenant Trujillo. Per our conversation from this morning, you asked me to write about an incident that occurred at the fiesta on the evening of Saturday, July 9th. With myself and firefighter Hall, we were walking around. A group of people were waving us down and yelling. A gentleman ran up to us and stated, "Someone is choking over there." Without hesitation, I ran to the location where the group of people were located. I found a woman sitting on a rock, gasping for air, very pale and in distress. I then performed the Heimlich maneuver until the woman was able to speak to me and was breathing normally. She stated she felt better and was not choking anymore. I asked her friends to watch her for a while, and if any changes, then come get us. I went back later to check on the woman, and she was doing great, and thankfully, we were there to assist her. Regards, firefighter A. Swazzle. This other incident, like I say, when it happened, it took me a while, but I got this individual to finally write this down for me. I told him to let me to write the incident down because I thought, it meant a lot to me when I heard who he saved and how we saved her. And like I say, this individual thought, well, he did it because he was trained to do it, and I said, well, that is something that I always looked at. We never recognize our people for something they do. So this one is, I'm writing this letter to describe the events that took place on the date of June 19, 2022, on Father's Day, per the request of Chief Johnny Martinez. All times are approximate. I, Enrico Trujillo, while off duty on personal time off on the update, was going about my day when I made the decision to drive to Santa Fe in hopes of eating at one of my favorite restaurants. The time was about 1700. I knew that I did not have much time before the restaurant closed, so I attempted to quickly finish up my errands that I had in Espanol. As luck would have it, my departure to Santa Fe was delayed. After finishing my business in Espanol, I then rushed to Santa Fe upon arrival to my destination. I was met with a close sign. I then proceeded to a similar restaurant, only to be encountered with another close sign. At this point, I made the final decision to try one more place. I then called to see if they were open for business. They told me they were open and would close at 9 p.m. I made my way to downtown Santa Fe with the guidance of my phone GPS. When I was within about 2 blocks of my new destination, I saw a parking garage and decided to park my car there. Finding a parking was near impossible, thus delaying me even further. When I finally parked my car, I proceeded to walk to my new destination on foot. At this point, it was pouring rain outside. As I got closer to the restaurant, my phone GPS advised, "You arrived." I found myself standing outside a mall-like building, so I decided to enter. Upon entering, I quickly scanned to see if I could spot my new destination, to no avail. I then decided to enter further to search. I noticed that the place seemed to be empty. The time was about 1845 to 1900 hours at this point. As I walked in, I heard a woman call out for help in a frantic state. I immediately looked to my left when I saw a woman running out of a store holding a 2-year-old female child. I quickly made my way to her and noticed the child appeared to be lethargic, cyanotic, drooling, and panic. The child's mother frankly stated that the child was choking. The mother handed the child over to me, and I immediately began patient care. I then advised the mother to call 911. I placed the child over my knee and crouched down and administered a series of back blows in an attempt to dislodge a foreign object from the child's airway. This attempt was unsuccessful. I then placed the child supine on the floor, positioned the airway, and performed 2 blind finger swipe to no avail. In my third attempt, I was able to feel the foreign object. I was then able to dislodge and remove what was blocking her airway. I immediately heard a grasp for air. I then placed the child in the recovery position. The child was able to vomit and then began to cry. A sign of relief overcame me crying, and a sign that the child was able to move air in and out of her lungs. A rapid physical assessment was then performed. I observed equal bilateral chest rise and fall. Lethargic was resolved and capillary refill was returned to normal. Cyanosis were resolved and peripheral pulses were pressed strong and regular. Child's condition improved and she became aware of her surroundings, reaching for her mother in a frantic state. I observed what to be the remnants of an orange slice on the floor where the child vomited. I then handed the child over to her mother and took her phone while emergency dispatch was still on the line. I then advised the dispatcher on the phone of the situation and to have EMS continue the response. I then waited with the mother and her child until Santa Fe City firefighters arrived. While I gathered medical information and history, I identified myself and provided credentials to responding personnel. I then advised firefighters of the events that took place. Care was then handed over to Santa Fe City Fire. Both mother and child were escorted to Santa Fe Fire Department, met units by Santa Fe City firefighters. I then gathered myself and left the area to continue my day. Upon exiting the building, I noticed that my destination was in the building next door. I then noticed that there was a parking area adjacent to my destination. If I would have noticed either one of those things before initially entering the wrong building, then I would have never made contact with the individuals involved in this event. As I sit here and write this letter, I can't phantom the fear that this mother and child experienced during the events that took place that day. A wave of emotion sets in as I write this. I recall all of the pain, emptiness, regret, and loss of us that us first responders encountered on a day-to-day basis. The words, "It's worth it," run through my mind. There is a light in all of the darkness. We were surrounded by police, fire, and EMS, and dispatch often carry a heavy load emotionally wherever we go. I only wish that I could share the joy that I experienced that day with all of my brothers and sisters who wear the badge. It is a reminder that our daily duties are far greater reason beyond ourselves. We do it for them. It's also a sobering reminder that we are never truly off duty. In my humble opinion, I believe in divine intervention. I would like to thank all of my fire department family, current and retired, and all of my EMS instructors and mentors for providing me the knowledge and experience to be able to perform the actions that I did that day. Thank you for taking the time to read this letter.
Yeah, so 2 days after that happened, or maybe it was only a day, somebody reached out on Facebook and there's a picture of Enrico. Do you know this person? And they gave me this story. And I was like, yep, he's one of ours. So yeah, Enrico Trio, if you want to come up. Yeah, so the person that reached out on Facebook, Marcela Gonzalez, she's actually here today with the little girl. So if you want to say anything, you're more than welcome.
Well, first, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us. It's such an honor to be here. And we're going to be able to say thank you to the firefighter, Enrique. And well, I don't have words to say, just thank you so much for saving my daughter's life that day. It was a miracle, and thank you so much for being there for us and help us a lot. You know, at this point, it could be a different story, but you were in the right place at the right moment for us. Thank you so much, and we're gonna be grateful all my life. Thank you. Wow.
Awesome. Up here.
As firefighters are really never off duty, and this is amazing what he does, you know, on a day-to-day basis, so congratulations.
I would like, I'm gonna request that this particular issue go before full council.
Yeah, I think so, I think.
Because I would like to invite the baby and the mom to please come to our next full council meeting. I think this is something that everybody in our community should know about. And the story to me is like the divine intervention that was happening all day to make sure that he was in that place at that time. That's unreal. Do you know what I mean? That's just like anybody that doesn't see that is not looking at things correctly.
Yeah.
So. Wow. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. So I'm gonna ask you to please return. We have our first meeting on the 14th. Is it the 14th? The second Tuesday?
One of the 7th? No?
No, second Tuesday. So I think it's the 14th. And we'll go under business with visitors or under public comment if you want. And just get them in and out right away so they don't have to stay all evening. But it's definitely something that I want the public to know about, and I definitely want to recognize, especially because the little girl is here, and I think that's so important for everybody to understand that she might not be here had he not been there. So that's just incredible. You know, thank you so much. And thank you for what you had in your head. Thank all your predecessors who did train you to understand what the situation was and to give you the ability and the thoughts to handle something like that in a crisis, especially when you're not even working. So thank you so much again. You're awesome. We're honored to have you work for us.
I hope somebody bought you dinner.
Where was it that you were going to eat originally? Were you going to Sushi 8? That's where you went, Sushi 8? Well, that's the best place to go anyway, so you ended up in the right place.
Chair, I just want to add that, you know, these are the types of things that really should be showcased and discussed in our community. It seems like all you ever hear is the negative things. And you know what, there's so much more to this community and the people in it. And I know I've said it many times about public safety, both our police and fire. Man, these guys rock. I don't think the community understands the commitment and the shorthandedness in both departments and the things that these guys accomplish. It's just amazing to me. I brag all the time and I get in trouble at Santa Fe County because I do, but it's.
You go ahead and get in that trouble. Dennis, you have anything else?
I'd just like to add, this is nothing short of amazing, and I think Chief Johnny said it perfectly at the start. And I've thought this for so many years, the best fire department in the state, so much pride. You guys walk around with pride, you guys, you know, love, it's a love for the job, you guys work well together. And it's always been like that. You guys are just continuing to get stronger, and just so proud that, you know, to have you all in the city of Espanola. So thank you all.
And I'd like to add that the
Counselor,
dedication,
anything?
yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the dedication and commitment shown by all of these officers is exemplary, helping people not only in our community, but wherever God places them. And I'm proud that you guys work for us in Espanola. Thank you.
You're awesome. Thank you.
This next award, at this time, I would like to recognize firefighter Matthew G. Herrera for his outstanding performance while being of service to the citizens of Rio Riva and the Escondido Valley. In the summer fall of 2019, during the COVID-19 pandemic. Firefighter Herrera worked tirelessly in collaboration with our emergency management division to organize venues to distribute COVID-19 vaccines along with boosters and documentations, attendance of recipients. This was far from an easy task. I want to ensure you that this would have not been possible without you, your dedication and your attention to detail. Firefighter Herrera, you have unknowingly touched the lives of quite literally thousands of your neighbors and friends. The Espanola Fire Department is proud to have you among our ranks, and thank you for your commitment. Job well done, Matthew Herrera. Yeah, so this one are going to be Pablo and Melissa. These two award that we're going to give was really hard for me to decide who to give to, and I just couldn't pick the person who I wanted to, so then I said to myself, well, I'll let my right hand do it and my left hand. So at this time, Pablo, you come up here first and because you'll be presenting one of them. So at this time, I'm going to turn over the floor to John Wickersham. He will be talking about this one.
So the first firefighter of the year is going to go to Pablo Montoya. This is for 2022, so this is for last year. He went to the police academy, was the best in the class, the valedictorian. He's our fire marshal. We're nothing but proud of this guy. This guy's gone above and beyond. He comes in early, stays late. I won't let him take off ever. And yeah, he's our fire marshal. He's done all our fire inspections, along with the fire department as well. But he's in charge of a lot, and he's fleet maintenance. He does long hours. And I couldn't be more proud of this guy. This guy has gone above and beyond for the fire department. He's not an official police officer, so he's going to work with the police department as well. And yeah, this guy's gone above and beyond for the fire department. So I'm extremely proud of Pablo Montoya for firefighter of the year for 2022.
I also want to say a few words about Pablo. You know, the attitude of the leadership in the fire department is contagious and evident in everything you guys do. I know even the rookies are coming along and just jumping in and doing what they need to do. They're excited to be at fires and excited to be learning, and that is because of the leadership that the three of you are providing. And when I say the three of you, I mean the three of you. I understand the dynamic, the relationship that is happening here. And I can't tell you that there's a better dynamic anywhere. You guys all complement each other. There's weaknesses with one, the other two got it. There's weaknesses with somebody else, the other two got it. You guys are just doing an amazing job. Pablo, you made history for the city of Espanola. You're the first firefighter in the city of Espanola that has the certification for police department also. And people might ask, well, what's the importance of that? Well, the importance of it is that in a situation where there's arson or there's other things that are going on that go into the legal system, you're able to handle both sides of what is happening, and we don't have to depend on a police officer to come in and do their side. You're doing it all from where you're at. That makes this time, it's time efficient for the people that are waiting for a police report to recover insurance or to do whatever. You're just doing an amazing job for this community. And I want the younger people to see that the younger guys that are in this department, I want you to understand that these guys all started where you guys are at. This department has built itself, and these guys probably didn't see themselves in these leadership positions as soon as they got put into them. So opportunities are always going to be here for you, and we're hopeful that the investment that this community puts into you is the investment that you put back and stay with our department. I hope that you love Espanola the way that we love Espanola, and that you guys all consider finishing your career here. Starting here and finishing here, that's what we want, and we will do as a council everything that we can to make sure that we support you and that you're able to have a good working relationship with the council and with the community, and also get paid what you deserve. So we support that, and I just can't be prouder of all of you guys. Thank you. Counselor Dennis.
Well, this, like I tell you, this, one of.
Hold on, Chief. Go ahead, Dennis.
I'd just like to add to what our Madam Chair stated, to be able to have a career here, to be able to retire here. And with that stated, I'd like to recognize the retired firefighter that's here today. I see Jack Romero out there supporting his team members and, fellow firefighters. And I remember when, early on, when Johnny was with the starting with the fire department, John Wickersham, and now they have white hairs, and I don't know you young guys, but so anyway, just with that stated, keep up that heart, desire, willing to learn, willing to work as a team, save lives, helping, people, and you all are perfect examples of that. So thank you. It's just nothing short of amazing. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Chief. Oh, I'm sorry.
Just really quick, a couple more things I wanted to mention, Chair, and then we'll go to Chief. The professionalism that these guys display, it's amazing. Sometimes people are put in situations that might be embarrassing or, something somebody wouldn't want somebody to come into, and these guys just handle it with professionalism and the selflessness, that these guys portray. It's amazing to me, and I just want to thank you guys for that. Thank you so much.
Well, like I was saying, one of the biggest, it was hard to pick firefighter of the year. So we had to decide to give another firefighter of the year because there was somebody who was just up there just with him. I worked with this individual worked with me when I was a lieutenant. I saw the things that he did, and I always said, this guy, to me, if I needed a question answered, I could go to him. I'll tell you one thing, this guy's a walking encyclopedia. If you want to know anything about fire, anything about the fire departments or anything, you ask him and he'll just pull it out of the air and tell you the answer, and he knows this stuff. That's one thing I could say about this individual. So I'll let Pablo take the floor now, because so you can introduce the guy.
As Chief Martinez said, he's already kind of given it away, whoever knows what we call this guy. In reviewing some of the stats and some of the calls and going through the logistics of it, that's what the three of us all take the toll of doing. We come to find the positivity that's out there and the hard work that each individual's given throughout the entire time here, obviously not only on duty, but off duty. So this all adds up. Everybody, there's no way a fire department could be run by one person. It's a collaboration. It's an effort from everybody. So, but this individual, again, has gone above and beyond. So before I say, do you want to say something?
You said it all.
So the firefighter of the year for 2023, right? For 2022 is firefighter Stephen George.
What's the nickname, guys? Congratulations to George. That's awesome. Yay.
Our last, well, we have two more, I guess. So we had firefighter of the year. This is EMT of the year. We'll let Pablo say some stuff on this one, but this, yeah, this award goes to, this guy's gone above and beyond for the department, and he's the best, one of the best EMTs we have. Not, we have a bunch of good, really good EMTs. All of us are really good EMTs, but this guy stands out, and he trains the new guys that come in and goes above and beyond for anybody that comes in. Go ahead and talk. Pablo.
So like Chief Wickersham said, has gone above and beyond. EMS always isn't the spotlight. It's not the firefighter running into a burning building and pulling out the young child or something like that. It's often unseen, and it's often just overseen. You know, it's not the popular profession, I guess you could call it, until these situations that you've heard tonight happen. Then everybody looks for an EMS provider or something like that. But this is another reason we wanted to give the EMT of the year for 2022, is because of the effort that these guys have put in, not only for themselves to continue their own education, to keep up with their own certifications, but also to, you see a lot of new faces behind me here, and they all have to get up to the same level. So it takes a team, it takes an army, it takes a family to raise these guys and get them to where we need to be. This individual has done a lot and will continue to do a lot. And you know, there's phone calls that we've gotten to the stations and to the administration about regarding these individuals. And you know, I actually just went, you know, maybe 3 weeks ago to a restaurant, and this lady brought up that she was involved in some bad stuff in a life emergency, and I actually tracked it down and told the two chiefs who it was that responded to that, because she asked me to. She wanted at least to know who it was that helped her that night, and it was our EMT of the year, which goes to Enrico Trujillo.
Yeah, most fire departments have an academy, you know, and it's a 2-month, 3-month academy where they're every day getting taught. Our individuals that go down to Socorro get their fire 1, fire 2, and then most of it's on the line training. And it comes from EMTs with experience like Enrico. And so, yeah, we couldn't be more proud of Enrico. So congratulations.
Our last award, it's called the Exception Accommodation Award. It's important to take notice when one of your employees has gone above and beyond in helping others to learn and grow in the workplace. Recognizing this work not only encourage it within the culture of our department, but also helps us take notice of the leadership characteristics of our workforce. The Exceptional Accommodation Award is presented to John Wickersham, Assistant Fire Chief. John has shown extraordinary integrity, poise, kindness, generosity, or more as part of our team with the fire department. John has taken leadership role in the starting of the renovation of the Wise Fire Department of Loya Street. He has only taken this leadership role, he was responsible for requesting the funds for this project. The St. Kevin box in making the Espanola Fire Department the first to acquire one in the state of New Mexico. For showing his leadership skills as an assistant fire chief, and for his knowledge, skills, and ability to be an example of a leader. I present this award to John Wickersham for your extraordinary dedication, service, in honor of your passion, commitment to the Espanola Fire Department, and your extraordinary dedication to the city of Espanola. Thank you for your commitment, loyalty, and dependability for all that you've done to improve the advancement of the Espanola Fire Department.
Thank you so much.
That's it for the awards. I don't know if we want to, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, we do have a couple more words, Victoria.
And so the reason we didn't take this to full council is because we have an amazing public safety committee. You guys stand behind us and you guys support us 100%. And when Chief asked me, do we want to take this to full council or to committee? I said, Mayor Pro Tem, has our back 100% of the time. Buenavides, Dennis, Tim, Didi Valdez, you guys are amazing. You guys support us 100% of the time. So I said, we have to take it to public safety. I wish we did take it to full council, but this is where I wanted to have it because of your guys' leadership and what you guys have done for public safety and for us in general. So thank you again. We have some flowers for Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez. Thank you for everything you do. And for Counselor, Benavides, thank you. And we had coins. I gave you guys all coins early, but we wanted to give out coins as well. Didi will get you yours as well.
I got yours, Dee Dee. I'm humbled and honored completely by this, and I'm humbled that you brought it here. But I do believe that it's important that the full council understand what this department is about. So I'm gonna ask that we do a double recognition at another full council meeting where we mention the awards that have been handed out tonight. Concerning John Wickersham, you know, John, I just have to tell you that it's been an honor for me to work with you. You're a great communicator and you keep me on the loop on so many things. I have been accused of having the fire department be my department or be my favorite department. I try not to have favorites, but you guys are easy for me to interact with because you're so positive and you guys are just doing an amazing job. I don't feel like there's strife in the department or that there's people that are inside undercutting other people or anything like that. I feel like every single person in this department really wants to be there and really wants to serve this community. And I see it when you're out there in the field, and the work that you guys do is just incredible. John, your heart for Española is unmatched. Like, I think I love this community more than most people, but when I deal with you, I'm just like, man, he might love Española just as much as I do. So I just have to tell you that, you know, your vision and your drive to further things, like, we're not satisfied with what things are right now. We want that training center here in Española. We want other things for this department. And we are just so blessed that we have mutual aid that comes in from La Mesilla, San Pedro, Okewinget, and they're doubly blessed that you guys provide mutual aid back to them. And that is amazing for this whole area. Like, that's the ties that make fire safety around this whole area possible and the best. And I can't say it enough times that I'm honored to work with you guys more than you know, and I will do anything in my power as long as I'm a city councilor to defend and support the fire department to the best of my ability.
The last thing that I want to say is that I want to, you know, I'm glad you guys saw that my love for this department is my people here. I see something in every one of my firefighters of what they can do.
I do.
And one of the biggest thing is I allow them to do what needs to be done. I'm not here to micromanage. Like I say, I'm here to, if they have a problem or something, we'll get through it together. I've seen John grow since the time I've been, when I first started here before him. And we had our differences. I'm not going to say that we didn't have our differences, but I mean, we've worked together, and I'm not here to take the glory or honor because I'm here to show the people what my people can do in my department. I just want to, just when I do leave this department, they're gonna know who I was and how I recognize my employees. So thank you for supporting me, and I thank you.
Thank you for the work that you're doing, Chief. Without you and not having an ego to say, it's my way, my way, my way. You always reach out to Pablo and to John Wickersham. You get their input and you're allowing people to carry your load, delegating different things. There's a lot of people that get in leadership that don't want to do that, that they only want it the way they want it. So I think it takes a special person to allow people to help you. And I know that you've done that, and I want to recognize you for that. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to thank each and every one of you guys. I mean, I'm so honored, and I want you guys to know that I have so much love for each and every one of you guys. If I haven't said it before, I've said it in a few meetings, but I really want you guys to know that it's such an honor to work with you guys and to just be so proud of who you guys are. And Wick, oh my God, what can I say? I can spend hours, Wick and I talking. My husband's like, what are you doing? Well, I'm talking to Wick on the phone. Okay. It's like, but he's like the second husband already. But the collaboration, and the ideas, and just him bringing forth ideas, and he and Chief have discussed that, they want to try to get done for the department, and they want to discuss them with council. That's the only way that we can get things done is working together. Chief said it best, working together as a team. And that doesn't mean just you guys, that means us here at council. And like Chair Martinez said, we're doing everything we possibly can to make sure that you guys are paid what you deserve to be paid. We hope to be able to increase that at some point. We're looking to see what programs. I know we've discussed several programs. I'm constantly seeing what other programs are out there that other fire departments are doing, that maybe we can figure out how to bring the funding to this community. This community deserves so much. And I just want to see our fire department, our police department, all our community just be the forefront for that. And so thank you guys so much for everything, your support, and for who you are. I appreciate every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just like to add, in Chief Johnny, with his career with the fire department, I've always seen Chief as lighthearted, but always working well with others, ensuring the job gets done, strict when he needs to be, but at the same time, fair. Leads by example, true love for community. Thank you, sir, for your leadership. And of course, being that example to all of our firefighters and, others throughout the entire state as well. Also, in addition to that, just working with Deputy Chief John Wickersham as well. First of all, from a life experience as a baby to, coming to the city of Espanola with a baby box, fighting hard, to get this done. All nothing but true love and true heart. And to be able to have this as the first, in the state, and then now, it's spreading, people, something that is needed, and, something that the communities are doing now. And a lot of that is back to, leading by example. So both of you set that great example, and then along with, upcoming Pablo as well. And, being these leaders for our younger firefighters, and you guys are already setting the example, working hard and doing things to be able to help our city, help our people, help anybody in need with your training, your love, your desire. And the thing about John Wickersham that I've noticed is he doesn't need to talk because he walks his walk. John Wickersham, whether it's a senator, a governor, or somebody on the streets that just, does need the help, that they're in need, he treats everybody with respect. And that's another thing that I've noticed, that I've seen, that's exactly what Chief Johnny does. And that's what all of you firefighters do. And I cannot say enough, just the pride for the city. And I think it was, not sure it was Chairwoman Peggy or Councilor Denise that did say it, but you guys just are the perfect example of what other departments should be. And, just, again, we can't thank you all enough. So Keep up the great job.
I too would like to thank all of you. You all show leadership capabilities, and none of you want to take all the credit for all the accomplishments. It's a shared commitment, a shared leadership, and that's what we all have to do. It's a team. It's not just I. It's teamwork. And I'm really happy and proud that the city of Espanola has a fire department run like the way you guys are handling it. Thank you again, and keep up that teamwork and leadership and pride for our community.
Thank you, Counselor Didi Valdez.
I think that does it for that portion of the awards. So we could probably move on to,
Your oaths of office.
yeah, firefighter oath of office. So we could have the judge.
Judge Madrid. Thank you, Judge. That does mean you, sir.
All right.
Since your dad's not here, it does mean you.
So we have a few different ones. We have Assistant Chief, Johnny was sworn in when he became chief by the council. This is something that we've done in the past, but we haven't done recently. So we wanted we have a lot of new firefighters, so we wanted to just do it again and make sure everybody was sworn in and accountable for. So we'll do, I guess, the Assistant Chief, Fire Marshal, then the 3 lieutenants, and then we'll do the firefighters. Like I said, there's a few. There we go. Heck, yeah, looking sharp too.
I thought maybe everybody knows.
Anybody have a Bible? There's one in that drawer. Is there a Bible? I'm like, isn't it over there?
Somebody.
That Bible needs to be stored on my side anyway.
Not to put you guys in the background, but
No, it's okay. We should be in the background.
here, just right here in the
I,
middle.
Did I put my-
Right hand up, left hand on the button. Ready, repeat after me.
I,
John Wickersham,
John Wickersham,
having been hired as Assistant Fire Chief
having been hired as Assistant Fire Chief
for the Espanola Fire Department
for the Espanola Fire Department
in the city of Espanola, state of New Mexico,
in the city of Espanola, state of New Mexico,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution
to uphold the Constitution
of the United States of America,
of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of New
the
Mexico,
Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico,
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
And I will,
And I will,
to the maximum of my capacity,
to the maximum of my capacity,
defend,
defend,
support,
support,
and pledge
and pledge
my loyalty
my loyalty
to the citizens of Espanola
to the citizens of Espanola,
and faithfully and impartially
and faithfully, impartially
discharge
discharge
the duties of said
the duties of said
office
office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me.
So help me God.
It is a pleasure and honor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Woo-hoo.
We'll sign them all. Yeah, we'll sign them all after.
So next we have,
Top to bottom. Ready? Left hand on the Bible, right hand up.
I state your
These
name,
are good.
I, Pablo Montoya,
having been hired as
having been hired as
fire marshal
fire marshal
for the Espanola Fire Department
for the Espanola Fire Department
in the city of Espanola,
in the city of Espanola,
state of New Mexico,
state of New Mexico,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico,
Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico,
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
I will, to the maximum of my capacity,
I will, to the maximum of my capacity,
defend, support, and pledge
defend, support, and pledge
my loyalty
my loyalty
to the citizens of Espanola.
to the citizens of Espanola.
I faithfully and impartially
I faithfully and impartially
discharge the duty of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help
Oh, help me God.
So help me God.
We have three lieutenants, Dr. Logston.
Pablo, can I borrow you back?
Come sign your contract. This is a nice one.
So you guys can sign right away. I'll sign them all after. For some reason, once I get in front of people, my right arm starts to get so nervous and it shakes and I can't able to keep it.
No, no. Yeah, nice. We needed one of these.
What I'll do is when I say state your name, I'll just look at you, state your name, and state yours and state yours and all together. So everybody can hear you guys. Somebody want to be my Bible holder? Ready? Left hand on the Bible, right hand up. I state your name.
I, Zach Logston. I, Nicholas Mangus.
I, Damian Velasquez.
Having been hired as lieutenant for the Espanola Fire Department
I've been hired as a lieutenant for the Espanola Fire Department
in the city of Espanola,
in the city of Espanola,
state of New Mexico,
state of New Mexico.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico,
the Constitution of the laws of the state of New Mexico,
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
and the ordinances of the city of Espanola.
And I will, to the maximum of my capacity,
And I will, to the maximum of my capacity,
defend, support, and pledge
defend, support, and pledge
my loyalty
my loyalty
to the citizens of Espanola,
to the citizens of Espanola,
and faithfully and impartially
and faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Mm,
Bring up the rest of you guys. Firefighters.
okay.
Mixture of rookies, some veterans. Marco Staska, he's new to the department, he's been here 4 months, 4 months. Diego Perez, 3 years. Matthew Herrera, 5 years. Alex Suazo, 4 years. Zachary Hall, about a year. Trevino, 7 months. Enrico Trujillo, 9 years. And Christopher Montoya, 2 months. So just a mixture of Both rookies and veterans. How do you want to do that?
Hold the Bible in the middle. Okay. So same thing, like I did with the lieutenants, I'll go down line and you guys state your name, and then everybody can just repeat together. Okay. Right hand's up, left hand is as close to you as you can to holding the Bible. Okay. So I state your name. There we go, there, that's the call. Having been hired as firefighters of the Espanola Fire Department in the city of Espanola, state of New Mexico, do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America, the Constitution and laws of the state of New Mexico, and the ordinances of the city of Espanola. And I will, to the maximum of my capacity, defend, support, and pledge my loyalty to the citizens of Espanola, and faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of said office to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations, gentlemen.
That's it for us, Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
You guys are all incredible and thank you for doing this at this meeting. I so much appreciate it. Like I said, I am gonna request that we at least have a recognition for the firefighters at a regular council meeting. Is Chief Garcia here? I don't see you. Hey, buddy. I thought he had walked that way. Okay. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and move on to item E, recommendation for approval to forward to full council an agreement between the county of Santa Fe and the city of Espanola for inmate confinement presented by Chief Michelle Garcia. Thank you, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem, governing body.
Thank you for being here and for your patience, sir.
Again, ma'am. So I come before you this evening with two contracts that came about as a result of, as we're all aware of, the issue with the Rio Arriba County Detention Center. As a result of the decision being made, and it was a decision that I've met several times with them, that they were unable now to accept any of our municipal prisoners. We were not forced, but it was in the best course of action for not only the Espanola Police Department, but the city of Espanola, that we find other locations that would house our municipal prisoners. We're still able to house our prisoners, our felony prisoners with Rio Arriba, that per state statute, that won't change. But in reference to our municipal prisoners, we are now in the process, and we have both contracts in front of us, that we have contracts with both Santa Fe County Detention Center and with the Taos County Detention Center. We have been transporting prisoners since, I believe, the beginning of February to these two facilities. There is a price difference between both of them. The county of Santa Fe is charging us, I believe, $95 per prisoner per night. And Taos County, if I'm not mistaken, is at $120 a night. Until something changes, and today I was in a meeting with the Rio Arriba County personnel, and they're hoping that this isn't a long-term issue that we have. But for now, we couldn't sit back and let the city of Espanola and the Espanola Police Department not be able to house any prisoners. So as a result of that, this was pretty much exigent. And it was something that myself and the city manager actually traveled to both locations. And we are also looking hopefully into potentially reaching out to get a contract with Las Vegas. Because sometimes these jails are full and we have to make alternative plans. So we're not going to sit back and not do anything. But for now, we are okay, both the department and our community.
Before I entertain a motion, I just want to say a personal thank you to you, because I know this situation was sprung on you relatively without any warning. And you hustled, did what you needed to do, made the connections that you had in Taos, and made sure that the community in Espanola and their needs for jailing inmates was covered as soon as you knew that there was going to be a shortfall. So I'm so grateful that you knew the person in Taos. I'm so grateful that you were able to go the same day and solidify something for this community and make sure that we were covered to have somewhere to put our inmates. So I'm very, very grateful. And I want you to know that I'm very, very thankful that you did that for us. So with that said, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion for approval to move to full council.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second,
We have a motion to approve from Counselor Denise Benavides and a second from both counselors Dennis Tim Salazar and Didi Valdez. Under discussion, counselors? Nothing? Like I said, Didi, do you have anything under discussion for this contract?
no, ma'am.
Thank you. Like I said, Chief, you know, I know that you had a personal connection to somebody that worked for that jail in Taos and in Santa Fe, and I just really, really am appreciative that you were able to take the bull by the horns and handle the situation in the expedited way that you did.
Thank you, Mayor.
Again, for your professionalism and doing that for us. Go ahead and call for a roll call vote, please.
Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar,
Or the motion.
Counselor Denise Benavides,
For the motion.
Counselor Dorothy Valdez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also for the motion. Unanimous, motion passes. We'll move on to the next item. The next item is basically the same. It's a detention confinement agreement between the Cass County and the city of Espanola. The cost per night is $120. You have anything else to add to that, chief?
No, ma'am.
Can you, well, I'll entertain a motion for approval and then ask.
So move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second under discussion. I'm curious what happens between Santa Fe and Taos? How is the department determining who's going where and how are you guys transporting to both entities?
To be honest, ma'am, it's who has room. It's,
Really?
first of all, that's our first criteria, who has room for us. The other criteria that we utilize, and we'll be honest, and if we think it's gonna be more of a long-term issue, we'll want to go to Santa Fe first because it's a little less expensive for our community. I will tell you that the County of Taos, the resources that they provide are unbelievable, and that's why they're charging so much more. They actually have a full body X-ray machine, and their medical facilities and the resources they have on site are pretty impressive. We did a walkthrough, so we do have to take care, but I'm gonna be honest, our first thing is who's gonna have room for us. And I'd like to say, before we move on in reference to this issue, Municipal Judge Madrid today helped us with an issue that we have with Santa Fe. And it's something that I can say we're working together. We had quite a few of our prisoners in Santa Fe, but we were able to, in working with him, he stepped up and helped us so that we're able to still maneuver to have flexibility at the County of Santa Fe.
So like I said, I'm just very, very grateful that we are covered. I'm hopeful that whatever situation Rio Arriba County has will be rectified and they'll come up to par with the staffing needs that they have. In the meantime, though, I'm very, very grateful that we were able to solidify these two contracts. And like I said, Chief, everything goes to you because without your contacts, I don't think any of these contracts would have happened. So thank you again. Call for a roll call vote, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Dennis Tim Salazar. Oh, I'm sorry, Counselor Dennis Tim Salazar,
For the motion.
Counselor Denise Benavides,
For the motion.
Counselor Dorothy Valdez,
For the motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Sue Martinez.
Also in favor. Unanimous, motion passes.
Madam Chair, if I may, before we go to department reports, so something I'd have to say, back in 2004, when I was first elected to the city council, I was on the Public Safety Committee. There's also another counselor on the Public Safety Committee who I enjoyed working with, had a true love for community and such a big heart. Somebody I have a huge respect for. I'd just like to acknowledge former city councilor Carla Martinez that's here. So we, we may not have always seen eye to eye, but we sure shared that huge love for the city. Carla is always, to this day, has a huge love for our city, our public safety, police, fire department, and the list goes on and on. So I just like to acknowledge Carla for being here and thank you for always supporting the city of Espanola.
Thank you, Counselor, for doing that. I was gonna do it earlier and it sort of got past me, so I appreciate you doing that and bringing that up. Okay, we'll move on to fire department reports. First up is Johnny and John.
Madam Pro Tem, city councilors. The only thing I really have to report is, I just wanted to let you know, you have my reports in front of you where we ran 2,943 calls for the year of 2022. The year prior to that, we had run a total of 2,705 calls. So we've gone up like almost 200, 300 calls. So for the month of December of 2022, we ran 220 calls. And for the month of January of 2023, we ran 240 calls. And like I say, there's nothing much more I have to say, give you my reports and I thank you for everything you guys have done for me and I turn my floor over to John Burks.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, councilors. So I just wanted to, Joshua, I can't remember his last name, but he's the owner of New Mexico Office Products, Joshua Martinez. Yeah, he reached out to us to see if we could join the bowl-a-thon. It's for the Big Brothers Big Sisters annual bowl-a-thon. We did this a few years back. I think the counselors even had a team together. So this is awesome. We got,
Actually won.
did you? We're gonna win this year though.
Okay,
So yeah, so we're gonna put a team together. It's Saturday, April 22nd. And so we plan on putting a team together and supporting the Big Brothers Big Sisters. So I was hoping that maybe you guys also could to join in.
very cool. Thank you, guys. Is there, concerning the calls that you're getting, the rescue and emergency medical services are still the majority of the calls, correct? Have we moved forward at all in looking into EMS stuff where we can start billing anything? Have you guys done anything with that?
So we sent a contract over to Brenda at the hospital. She's reviewing it. She emailed us about a week ago saying that it's still illegal. They're reviewing the contract to see if we can't get paid per call that we transport to the hospital. I did talk to the city manager this morning, and he's gonna try to get us for billing to see if we can't, he knows somebody that can help us with billing. And then I talked to Lieutenant Mangus, which is our EMS supervisor, and he's gonna actually start registering us to get PCR or PRC certified, so we can start billing.
Okay.
So yeah, we were hoping that the hospital could get that contract to us, but it's already been, it's been a while.
8 months.
8 months that they've had it. So I think our best bet is to get certified and to go that route and see if we can't get somebody to help us with billing. And so that way we could just start billing. But yeah, so and Brenda, hopefully she gets back to us and then we can get some money back from our calls that we're transporting at least.
Okay.
We'd get paid per call, like $200 every time we transported to the hospital. We'd keep track and then they would bill us a set number is how the contract reads.
Okay, thank you guys so much. And again, thank you for everything you're doing. Next up, we have the Honorable Joseph W. Madrid, Municipal Judge for the City of Espanola.
Good afternoon, good evening. Want to say good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good, thank you.
So we are a little bit behind schedule because of the cancellation. So Madam Mayor Pro Tem, where would you like me to start?
Wherever you want, Sarah, it's all
Okay.
you.
So I'll start with November. Okay, hold on. I'm in the. All right, December and January is what I submitted to you. The total for December total is 29 violations. When I say violations, that could include arrests, that can include parking citations, traffic, animal.
Planning.
Yeah, planning and zoning. If they cited only 29 for the month of December. For January, we went up to 45 for the month of January. Like I said, that's including arrests, that's including everything. We have had, me and Chief Garcia have had some conversations about some of the problems that we're having on the judicial side. That not just us on the city level are having, but the state level. And we have been working pretty good together that I think we're gonna find a good resolution and move forward with it. I wanted to, I guess, so I'm kind of having a dilemma. according to ordinance for council, it says that I need to bi-monthly, by ordinance, that I need to come and give a financial report to council. I don't know, I know back in the day when Judge Salazar was the judge, he wanted to come in front of the Public Safety Committee to present his findings, and so it's with the police department. I'm where I'm coming with it, I'm kind of tired of harping on the amount of citations we have. As a judge, I need to stay impartial and non-biased, and if I only have 10 citations, it doesn't matter, because that's not what my job is as judge. Mine is to impose justice and be completely non-biased. So
I think we're just sharing knowledge and information. I don't think it's judgmental in any way to the department.
I just don't want to come give you my financial report. I'll give you my citation report, give you how many arrests, because you should know that, but I don't think I should be the one to say I had 29 citations for the month of December. I had this many because I don't care about the amount that's coming in. I handle what comes in. Yes, could we be busier? Yes, I would love to be busier, but I know that stems from a different problem that's in public safety, of the lack therefore of officers. So I feel like I'm just coming up and kind of beating the drum, and really I should just come up and say, this is my total income for the month. This is what was taken in as judicial fees. This is what was taken in as correction fees. This is the fine amounts that were
Well,
taken in.
Judge, but I have a question and an issue with that though, because I mean, to me, it seems like the numbers are really low. And so that affects the income, for the city. So I think the question has to be asked, why aren't you getting more citations? Is it just because, we're not issuing the citations? Or I guess it's a question.
Correct. We are doing arrest. And I will be honest, and I don't mean to put anybody on the fire, anybody
Right.
that's not my thing, but I can tell you, I haven't got a speeding citation in over a year. The only speeding citations that I have gotten have been attached to a DWI. Haven't been attached to an arrest of some sort, or attached to unlawful use of a license because they had to arrest them. Otherwise, I haven't seen a speeding citation.
So do we think they're going to magistrate? Do we know?
No, they're not going to magistrate. They're
just not happening.
I don't.
You don't know. So
As
it's
of right now, so what's kind of happening in the background, and I'll set the record kind of straight, is what's happening is magistrate is no longer taking, if it is a magistrate's overwhelmed, Judge Madrid and Judge Naranjo have had conversations with myself, with city police, with sheriffs, with state police. They are understaffed and they're overwhelmed. So they have made it very clear that they are no longer, with permission from their chief judge, that they are no longer taking municipal charges. If it can be filed in the municipal court and it's in the city of Espanola, it will get filed in the municipality. So right now, they're not taking the arrest. They're not taking, if it can be filed in municipal court, it's getting filed in municipal court.
I don't think it's for this council or this committee to dictate the amount of citations. In fact, I know it sets bad precedents for everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's not the purpose of you sharing the amount. I think it's important for us to know what you're getting. And I think the reports, the way they've always come, have worked, and I would like to see that continue.
It was.
I do want to tell you that the finance is the most important part of your reports. Let's just stick to that. But the other information that you're imparting on us is also relevant. And it's non-judgmental to anybody or any other department as far as what they're producing or not producing. I don't know what a police officer deals with on a daily. If I have a choice between dealing with a domestic or an overdose and pulling somebody over, I'm sure I would make the same decisions that they're making. So I don't put it on the officers themselves. I know that they're working hard and they have to make decisions based on what is the emergency need at that moment. And I know that they are busier than heck and they are doing what they can do with the numbers they have. So we just need to support your department and we need to continue to support the chief and what he's trying to do in his mission in building that department as much as possible.
That's,
I
that's
bel-
what I didn't, sorry, I didn't mean any disrespect
No.
to the police department
None
No.
or
taken
lack of,
at all.
because I understand these officers are going from call to call to call.
Exactly.
They don't have the manpower, they don't have the ability to, yes, somebody's speeding, they're going to the next call. So I understand. But
Right.
what I can put on the council is we need more officers, period. That is the problem.
We
is
need to
the
study
officers.
it. We need to figure out peak times and non-peak times. When the crime is happening, when the things are happening. And move officers to those areas, double up on some shifts and get ingenious with how we schedule things.
I'm sorry,
But
madam.
those are not our deals.
Yes.
Those are the chief's deals. We have confidence in him. We support him. And we want him to be successful because the more successful he is, the safer this community is. So just stick to your stuff. Go to your finance part, Judge.
My finance for the month of December is total fines collected was $1,995 for the month. Those are all broken down into automation, judicial correction, all the fees that are paid out. So the net that went to the general fund was $1,095 for the month of December.
Mhm.
For January. For January, the month, it was 1,874 collected in fines. That is what was deposited for into the city's general fund. Earlier, we touched based on graffiti. What's going on in graffiti is there, for some reason, there is a war going on
And
badly. It was covered, Ranchitos was completely covered. I told my graffiti officer, I don't care if it's 20 degrees, go paint. If it peels off, it's better to look at peeled off paint than it is to look at all what's going on. I'm just running into a problem now. My graffiti officers going out, community service workers are going out, they're painting over it. But as fast as they're painting over it is as fast as it's going up.
we
I've-
considered investing in any kind of a game camera or anything like that, that we would be able to take a picture of somebody that is painting a wall like that.
So we have it on the court part. I haven't thought to put a game camera. There was an individual that was censured being called that they had their ATM was tagged over. My graffiti officer went in, covered it. He asked for a picture. He asked for whatever he got on the camera. What was got on the camera, we turned over to the police department. So I know chief himself got that and he said he was going to take care of it on that part. Ranchitos is just, it's a hard area because it's so dark. It's an old park that needs to be renovated, which we all
So
know.
there's something we can help you with. Lighting is an issue. We can work on lighting.
So we can
Ranchitos
put
up.
a camera and we can get it. My graffiti officer went and did Ranchitos hadn't been painted in years. He went and got the spray gun and sprayed and Ranchitos pool looked, Penny Garcia pool looked so nice for 3 days. And then it was covered that it's the same people from La Jolla, all the tagging I see on La Jolla is the same war going on Ranchitos. Same thing going on at Murphy's. It's the same individuals. It's just, it's.
So I think we need to invest in cameras on city property. I don't think there should be a city property that does not have a security camera, period.
I agree.
I think that's important, so I will talk to the city management about that. And as far as Ranchitos being darker, we did pass the franchise agreement with Chemis Co-op, allowing us to build the lighting within the city of Espanola for that last percent. And I think that's almost $100,000 a year that we can invest in lighting in the community. And I think lighting up areas like that is important. But I also think there's an opportunity to catch people and to prosecute people. And I think that if we could possibly do some type of a situation with some type of monitoring systems, I would definitely support that also. I think it's important. The other thing that we could consider is, down here at Lucero Center, before there was Jordan on the wall, that wall got graffitied every single day. It seemed like once we put that painting there, that even they respected that and it has never been touched.
It was-
Well, one time it was
one-
touched, you're right.
one time.
So I think that maybe it's interesting if we also look at some kind of sport painting, maybe have some kind of a contest or something here in town where we do something really amazing on one of those walls and maybe they stop messing with it, who knows?
Yeah. we should only hope.
But I do think that there has been, I mentioned it to you that I could tell that one team goes and spray paints and then they somebody crosses that over at night and then they repaint next to it. Then they cross that over at night and then they repaint next to that. La Jolla Building is one of the storage sheds that is just an open canvas for them to do a lot of mod. But there's an opportunity across at the laundry to put up a surveillance system. I mean, if you put a Ring camera and connect it to their Wi-Fi, you'll have an idea of who the heck's out there.
So the problem that you're talking about on La Jolla and the one at Ranchitos are two totally different problems. One, because Ranchitos is owned by us, the city, so I can go and paint whatever color we need to the square. We could put a square over it, we paint whatever color because it's city property. La Jolla, the whole wall that's taken over, that's private property. I am yet to see, and I've been asking my graffiti officer, where are all these agreements, where all these years we've been saying, oh, that's public, this person has an agreement with the city that we can go out and cover it. So I'm asking permission. Right there, the storages that are covered in graffiti, they're owned by the car wash right across. The car wash has cameras, but it's not me nor my graffiti officer's position to go in, hey, can I see your cameras? Century Bank, we work really well with them, so we asked, but can we see your cameras? Can we do the investigation? And all we can do is paint over it, record it, turn it over to the police department, and then let them handle it. But if the business owner or these individuals aren't going themselves and looking at the camera and saying, well, who's doing this, and turning it over to authorities, then it's really just a game of arts and
Do you have
crafts.
an idea like what time of the evening this happens? Does it happen late at night?
I
Does it
think it's
happen
happening
in
late
the
at
early
night.
mornings?
It's happening late at night. I live right there on Ranchitos, and I mean, every single day I drive up, even though my driveway's in the front, I drive up to see, is there anything new? Is there anything added? Did we just cover this? And there's more. So I've been trying to be a little bit more persistent on finding out what time, but I'm thinking it's in the middle of the night when nobody's there.
Judge, what's your budget look like for this graffiti issue right now?
As of right now, I can't tell you that, Clint. I've been asking for my budget for the last month and a half to see where I'm at. And it's pulling teeth to get a copy of my budget to me to see.
We can help
what
you
it
with
is.
that too.
Well, I'm giving it 2 more days and then I was about ready to roar. Because I've been waiting, I've been seeing people and what's going on. I talked to the finance director. I had a good conversation with him. I know he's new. I'm trying to have all the patience with finance because I know that they are in shambles. But I've been asking specifically, one individual can have I need my budget. I need my budget. I need my budget. I need to see where I'm at.
So do you follow your own budget? Are you filling your stuff in? Like you can't open your budget and say, okay, I've encumbered this much. I know exactly where I'm
I
at.
can, but there's some bars that I've put in that I'm still kind of up in there. Have they been done? So I could say that, yes, I have this much in this account, but I might have put a bar in earlier to get that money into that account and it might not be there.
Okay.
So I can't give you 100%. And I wish I would have made Jolene come with me because I know she can. And she's my mathematical.
All right, so I think those are definitely concerns that
I
the
do have,
committee can
at
forward.
first, I did have the America Beautiful grant that did fund a lot of my graffiti supplies.
Uh-huh.
I no longer have that grant because this new administration, we missed the deadlines to file. So I'm doing everything I can this year to make sure that we get that grant back. I do have some money in my budget. It's not a lot that is for graffiti. So I'm about to re-up and there is some in teen court with the JAF grant that I can kind of justify using for graffiti with the teens. So I do use some of that, but like I said, I'm waiting kind of finance right now. I'm still waiting on my JAF grant to be entered. Now that Diane left, I'm kind of at a halt with spending.
Okay, I'll have a conversation with the city manager concerning your concerns with budget, Jeff. I'm really saddened to learn that we lost that America Beautiful grant. I feel like
Just 1 year. we're gonna apply for it this year and do
1
everything.
year
we
is
can.
1 year.
Yeah, it
To
does
say
make a
this,
difference.
that when we lose money for free money that can come to our community, and we don't do what we need to do to maintain that money or to make sure that we're getting it, it's like opening your window and letting your money roll out your window. It's not smart.
True, and we're in
We're
that
cheating the
predicament right now.
community. So
We're in that
we-
predicament right now with finance.
We need to make sure that we do this, and I give you credit for reapplying for the grant. And I would also state that because you don't have as many cases as you could have, I think that downtime is an opportunity for you to look for other grants, to do other community stuff. What are we doing with the community cleanup? When's the next community? cleanup?
Our community cleanup, this should be now coming up in
April?
the spring, April. April, I haven't sat down with Marcos yet. He did mention it, but we haven't sat down. It's like, it's still early.
Okay, we need to get with, now we have our own trash system, so we need to get with John Francisco and with that department and make sure that we're collaborating what our needs are gonna be on that day. So let's try and solidify that day as soon as possible. Bring that back. Probably won't. We'll probably have to have that come to full council, the cleanup, so that we can approve it there, so that because April will be too late by the time we come over here for the next meeting.
I don't think we've ever had a cleanup day approved by council.
We haven't.
I think your guys' cleanup, but as far as the court cleanup that we do,
Okay,
I don't see.
all right. Just come before council and make sure that everybody knows that we're having a cleanup.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? All right. Is that it, Mr. Madrid?
Judge Madrid, as far as the court, that's it. As much as I want to come up here and pound my chest and I'm kind of lost for words with what's been going on at the city. I do want to stay here in front of you guys that I'm kind of frustrated, really frustrated, because right now you say, yes, we should be chasing the grants and we need to chase them, but at the moment, we don't have anybody that can enter the grants.
Right.
We don't have anybody that does the reporting on the grants. I have an $8,000 grant that's sitting there that's already been signed and it still hasn't been entered into my budget. So we can chase all this money until we get with finance and get that under control. It doesn't do us any good.
Accept that grant? So that has to come before full council so we can approve the grant coming into.
Oh, that's already been, the Jack grant's been approved. It just hasn't actually been entered.
Okay.
And now we don't have anybody to enter it. So
That's a position that will be filled relatively quickly, I believe. I don't think that we're gonna go too far without a grants administrator.
It's my understanding that position will not be filled.
What? Who's gonna do it?
Apparently, it's gonna get moved into finance when they get fully staffed.
and
In the meantime, what's happening?
I'm at the point with my staff, I can say with mine is I asked my administrator, my team court coordinator, figure out what you can do to report it. I'm not missing our reporting days and you guys report it and I'm not losing this grant. So as much as we can do not to lose our stuff, we are doing.
Could you send Counselor Denise a timeline of what is expected of that grant from the city of Espanola?
Yes, ma'am.
She's a finance chair. She should be able to work with the finance group to make sure that they meet what you need to have done on the days that you need to make sure you meet deadline. Like I said, I'm not about losing grants. That does not make me happy.
Yes, ma'am.
So we need to stay with that, okay? Anything else, Dennis?
That's it. I do want to.
Dennis?
Just a thing to add, but I know you all already know, but in dealing with grants, like of course, entering them, there's a monthly reporting, and I know it's crucial to be able to enter these into the monthly reporting to like whether it's a state to DFA or so on, because if it's not reported monthly, then we're at deep risk of losing that money.
Yep.
Like huge risk, and it could be various things. So it's just like, I cannot stress that enough. It's very important.
Okay, something that I'll talk to Jordan about tomorrow. The lighting is something that I'll also bring up. Possibility of installing cameras at Ranchitos. And then I'll also make sure that he understands that you cannot run a department without a budget. That's ludicrous. We need to know what our numbers are. We need to know where you're at. You need to know where you're at. Your staff needs to understand it. So it's very important that the finance get it together, and I don't care where they're at. You guys need to understand where you're at. It doesn't matter what is going on here.
Exactly.
If whatever's happening here should not affect you guys knowing your numbers, period. So I'll have a very serious conversation with him tomorrow and make sure that you guys get what you need. If you do not get numbers within a week, call me.
I'm just gonna go raise, I thank you so much. I appreciate the support, but the way I feel about it is at the same time, I'm an elected official. I'm the judge. I shouldn't need anybody from council to give me my budget. If I need to go and now sitting as judge, I always wondered why the relationship with the judge and city council, why I would witness so negativity, and I would see the judge being assertive and bossy and not liked. Now I understand why. And I don't want to get like that with any city of officials, employees, but I shouldn't need any council to get me my budget. Should already sending an email that says second request should be enough. But I guess I'm gonna have to turn into that person because the respect level is kind of going through
Just
the
so you
door.
know, Judge, you're not the only one screaming for your budget. And I did have a 2.5-hour meeting with our new finance director just a couple of days ago. And in hopes that the situation could get rectified, I don't think it's gonna get rectified anytime soon. It's being worked on, but I think that it's gonna require all hands on deck. And I don't think that that's currently happening. I hope that it happens, but
I agree.
we'll keep pushing.
And I'm pushing, chugging along. Like I said, I'm having a great relationship with the fire department, the fire chief, the city police department chief. When we have problems, usually I can call the chief, hey,
Yeah.
having this problem, he answers, we take care of it. Vice versa, if he needs something at the court, I'm willing to bend over backwards, even with all the incarceration problems that we're having, just to make sure that we all work together.
Thank you, Judge. Okay, next up is Police Department Chief Misael Garcia.
Mayor Pro Tem, city councilors, you don't want to get me started on grants because we'll be here all night. I'm actually need help with 2 grants right now that I'm afraid we're going to lose. But with that being said, before I came up and I've been in contact with both Miss Bradley and Miss Lentini. I have answers to their questions, specifically Miss Bradley, and that there is question if there was DOT streets or my department. Nice thing about being chief is I made the final decision, so we'll be taking care of the dead animals effective immediately, and it will be added to the SOP. We're gonna go over kind of quickly over the numbers, and I have November's numbers, December's numbers, and January's numbers. And I think the biggest thing that comes out, and as I was sitting there during our meeting, on average, my department is taking 1,300 calls a month, which comes out to about 40 a day, 40 every 24 hours. I checked our arrests, and Judge Madrid was right. On average, we arrest 2 or 3 to 1 that go to magistrate court and that don't go to municipal court. Now that number is going to change now with the new situation we have. So now all my misdemeanor, all our misdemeanor arrests will be going to municipal court. So those numbers are going to change a little bit. I think one of the things, and while I was sitting there, believe it or not, someone sends me an article that came out, a very positive article in the Sun about the catalytic converter issue we have. And they put up some good information on what we're doing as a department and as a city. Some of the things to look at are, I can give you numbers, I can give you names. We talk a lot about burglaries in our city. We talk a lot about larceny, specifically catalytic converters. We have the names and numbers. I can give you the number of arrests that we're making. We have people, we're arresting criminal trespass. We're arresting shoplifters. The problem is this, is that sometimes we get caught up in some calls and we're unable to respond to other ones as quickly as we'd like. I would love, and I'm with the judge, I would love for us to be able to have some type of traffic control. And just to give you a little forewarning, I'm a big fan of Red Flex. I think we need a force multiplier, but that's something that's beyond my request. I'm a big fan. There's civil fines, and I would only have to have one officer review each photo, but that's something for another time. I think that we
The
can,
name of the company?
Red Flex, ma'am.
Red Flex? I'm interested in doing this.
That would be, ma'am, a force multiplier for our city, and it would only take. These photos do have to be reviewed by a certified commissioned officer before they're sent out. But I think it would be a very valuable tool for us to use here. We already have the LPRs here in town. We're going to be getting additional pole cams throughout the city. We're heading in that direction. And I think it's something we as a community and you all as a governing body should look at, and hopefully we could help with that kind of presentation. So I know sometimes it's not always easy, and I'm going to tell you for our department, we're going to get better. We're getting better. I go through these reports. I know with 1,300 calls a month, that means that things are getting done. We're having calls. I was on the radio earlier today telling our community, unless you call it in, it doesn't happen. You need to tell me. Even though you may think we're not going to show up, we're going to show up eventually, but we need you to call. We need you. I have a report here of all catalytic converter reports since January 1 to February 26th. I only have 17, and walking, visiting throughout our community, you would think that we have 170. But I go by the numbers, and that's what all I can present to you all are numbers. So I think we all need to do, I have to do, my department has to do a better job of being out there and getting these numbers. Myself personally, we talk about the aggressive panhandling. Every day I dedicate an hour and I'm out there in our problem spots, and it's funny. I'm supposed to drive an undercover car, but they see it and they just disappear when they're panhandling. So they pay attention to us. They know we're out there. We're doing our best. I do speak to our community today. 3-4 people came up to me, and and it's good to hear from our community that they like what we're doing. But I think it's not just based on numbers. It's based on what we can do to give that perception of safety. Because I could give you numbers night and day, but I base what we do on the perception. How safe do you feel going to Walmart at 8:30 at night? I can tell you that we make arrest after arrest after arrest. That's what we're working on in the community. We're doing that by building up our department. As you know, that's gone up and down. And we're going to do our best to, again, continue going forward. We're not going to complain. We're not going to give you excuses, but I think it's a team effort. I mean, I've had some pretty serious meetings this week in reference to some of the issues we have, but I've also had some solutions, hopefully. And I'll give you some insight with Judge Madrid. He's willing to start helping us with arraignments during the day and even after hours to help my department get through these misdemeanor arrests. And his assistant may not be as happy as he was, but he's willing to do that for us. I mean, and I may have been the one that volunteered that information, but we're working. It's a team effort, and nobody's taking offense to anything. I don't. I know my position requires that, I produce, and we're going to do what we can with what we have, and we're not going to let our community down. I think the only other thing I'd like to tell you is Saturday night, 4 DWIs in one night, and Friday night we had 2 more before. Last night, all night, I was getting text messages, robberies, breaking and enterings. I didn't get to bed till 2:30 because I finally told my sergeants, wait, keep the lieutenant awake. I don't need to know everything unless it's super important, right? But they know I like to know, and their text messages. We are out there. We're doing our best, and we're going to get better, and we're going to continue to serve. We've had a lot of training this month. We've gotten recertified with TASER. We've gotten recertified with our Toxilizer 8000 training. We've received use of force training. I have 4 guys this week in instructor development training. So we're getting that little by little. Until it's hard, but I need the rest of my officers have to take up the slack. But I think we're getting there. I would love to say one day I can come in and say I have 30 officers on the street. That's my goal, and that's what we're shooting for, because that's what I'm authorized. And all I can tell you is we will have the commitment. I mean, I am impressed and proud to say that we work hand in hand with our local fire department. And those guys, I mean, I love it. They come up to me everywhere. Even today, I was at Dairy Queen and they came up to chat with me. I was in the middle of an intense conversation with some community members, but we work well together. We work well with our municipal court. We work well with the magistrate court, you know, with Rio Reba, with the sheriff, the state police. But it's not solely here in Espanola, and that's what I tell everyone, give us that, you know, support and the opportunity, and we'll do that.
I will say, Chief, that I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. I mean, a lot, especially with the panhandling situation. I don't know if they've moved to the west side, but on this side of town, I mean, we've gotten a ton of positive feedback. And I wanted to thank the city for the cleanup they did at the Santa Clara Apartments. They cleaned up all that trash. It looks so much better. I had Santa Fe Civic Housing out there looking at the facility last week, and it was so nice that it was all cleaned up. I mean, I know you're doing what you can with the staff that you have, right? I mean, it's just, there's so much of it. There's just so much of it.
And I think it's gonna be something that we work on, and I've been talking to Chief Martinez. Don't get me wrong, I'm waiting to get my hands on Pablo. He's gonna have to come earn that badge. We're trying to set up a schedule with him, and I think it'll be a value to the community. I have plans where I want to use him, and I'll be upfront. A lot of what he's gonna do is traffic control. We're gonna give him a car, and you're gonna get on Riverside Drive, Paseo de Oñate. You're gonna be on, you know, you're gonna be helping us with that, because we're gonna gently bring you in. I know he's a high-end expert in the fire side, but with us, you know, it's just like us. I could never be a fire department personnel, because he knows both our jobs, but he's got to see how we do it in our department. But we are looking forward to him coming over. And the chief and I have been talking about a schedule. We talked about maybe 1 day a week, and maybe him coming over and just settling in.
I think, you know, if we use some of that opioid funding properly, I think that, you know, we could assist a lot with PD, with fire, even where the judge is concerned, some programs there. I mean, that little group working together, I think we can make a difference with that.
I think Councilor Salazar said something that was very important, that I think unless you're in an administrative position, the reporting is well, right now I have an opening in my department for an opioid/narcotic lieutenant, which is something we need. And one of their primary jobs is going to be the reporting part, because without that reporting, we're not going to continue to get that money. But additionally, they're going to be responsible for the detectives, which to me is an additional assistance for me. And that position is going to be paid from the opioid settlement. So it's not going to be part of my authorized strand, but it fits the criteria that the settlement is requiring.
I would vote for a department, to be honest with you, that consisted of more than one opioid type officer. I mean, because the situation is so widespread that, you know, I think it's going to take more than one officer. I think.
We're also looking, and you'll be hearing from me eventually pretty soon, full community, it'll come before you all. We have, and we've getting an SOP approved for, they've been very generous with us with a drug sniffing canine, which would be a
nice,
great addition for us to make seizures. So I've been working on the SOP with our city attorney to bring that to you all and let you see what we've come up with, and then go to full council. That's also going to be paid for through our opioid settlement. We've had training actually in 3 weeks myself, because I have a meeting with the drug enforcement assistant, the ASAC, and 2 of my officers. We're going to a fentanyl class, which is going to count towards their training. It'll go into their resumes, which is something I'm trying to keep our officers up on. And for me, it's to make contact with the people that run. It's the Gang Investigators Association, who potentially want me on their board. So we're trying to make those contacts not only on the officer level, but on my level, the executive level, so that we get the DEA here in Espanola, so that we get HIDA here. We've had this conversation before, Mayor Pro Tem. We need to bring them here. We're the place to be. I've recently shared photos of a unique type of fentanyl that we have in Espanola that no one else across the state's seen. And I sent them to that organization, and they were right away sharing it with other departments. So it's a matter of on every level, we have to do our jobs. And this is why it's so important that I have, and I'm getting, and up to this point, the lieutenants that I need, the sergeants that I need. And we're getting there. I mean, like I said, it's not easy, but we're gonna get there.
And then just really quick for me, Chief, an update on any assistance from Santa Fe County Sheriff?
You know what, ma'am, they've been around. I've seen them around. They actually stopped to
Couple.
assist me on a traffic stop.
Okay.
So, and it's funny because they recognize me and they were at a felony stop that we did recently and I have seen them in the neighborhood association of the Santa Cruz Road area. I was out one night, couldn't sleep, went out for about an hour and a half from like 11 to 12:30 and driving through. They were out there, so they have been driving through. So I was gonna reach out and tell Sheriff Mendoza, thank you for providing that assistance.
Madam Pro Tem, I have a quick question. Chief, now that we were on the conversation regarding traffic control, I'm just curious, the newer units that we do have, do they all have radars? They don't, or?
No, sir, I'm actually, one of the grants, sir, that I'm, as you all know, I'm wanting to put in for a secondary COVID grant that I'm really trying to get. And then the first disbursement that I received from the governor's office for 288,000, there's additional funds that I'm trying to reach out to get. But I'll be honest, I can start filling out the grant, but I need help from someone to help me do the minutia. I mean, I could fill out the majority of it, right? But I need someone that has that background because they asked me for certain information. I even had a friend that just retired from the Defense Intelligence Agency who did $50-70 million contracts, who said he'd help me for free if he'd come down and visit because he just retired. I actually told him, let me talk to the council, the governing body. You might be able to come down 1 or 2 days a week as on a contract and be interviewed by you all and see. We need somebody like that. And we've been reaching out individually. I've been asking people. But, you know, I think it's just, and I'm being greedy. I'm not gonna lie, selfish, because I'm thinking for my department, but I know water department needs it. I understand the judge needs it. But I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm thinking of the Espanola Police Department first, because that's the department I'm in charge of.
And the grants, they just take time, they're lengthy, and then at the same time, like.
They're hard, and then the reporting
Yeah.
is the devil of the details.
Then they sometimes have these committees who review, you know, the specifics.
And I've learned that, sir. We've learned, Victoria here and I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
pulled our hair out over the reporting.
Yeah, so we just, yeah, you said it, yeah, definitely just that assistance.
And we need that expertise.
Moving forward, Chief, I'd really like the city of Espanola, by the time the next school year starts, be in a position to do some training with the schools as far as safe shooter training with the staff and with the students, evacuation trainings, just in case. I know they used to do one from Espanola Elementary to the Stroke Center and from Fairview Elementary. I don't know exactly where they were removing those students, but I think it's something that we need a plan on doing. If we could look at creating a plan for school safety and just doing evacuation plans in case there ever needs to happen.
I totally agree with you, Mayor Pro Tem. And actually, at one time, we were having monthly meetings, which I thought were valuable, but somehow they dropped off. I know the Rio Arriba Sheriff's Office, if I'm not mistaken, either major or lieutenant are certified instructors in active shooter. I have one officer who is my school resource officer, but due to recent personnel issues, I'm not sure if he's going to be there next year because I might need him somewhere else to assist me with my investigative section. So it never works out the way you think it's going to, and we have to adjust on the fly. But we do work. I think Rio Arriba would be more than happy to help, and we would go assist them. But they are certified instructors in active shooter training.
I think we should look into that and maybe have a conversation with Sheriff Merrifield about that situation. See if we can get something rolling or put something in his ear about that.
I completely agree.
I appreciate the work that you do for us, Chief. You know, just keep trudging ahead. I mean, the community needs you to do what you can do for us. And, you know, on the west side, we've had catalytic stolen over the last couple of days. There's a lot of concern. I'm getting a lot of concern about that. If we could possibly get some officers on Coronado in that area at 5 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning, I think that's when those things are happening, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the other thing is utilizing that mobile radar unit to gain intel and information as to who's in what area, at what time of the day. I think that's also important. You know, I'm very proud to be associated with you. I'm very proud to be associated with the fire department, and I and this committee will do whatever we can to make sure that you guys are budgeted to the point where you can do what you need to do for this community. And I know that every single person on the council is committed to public safety. I know that they will do anything they can to provide you with new positions. So we just have to keep getting ingenious with how we do things. And like I said, looking at that schedule, studying peak times, non-peak times, how we can utilize the schedule to possibly get more officers during the peak times. I think that's another interesting way to look at things. Doing every single thing that we can, lighting up the community. I think light is very important. You know, we have certain dark areas, Prince area is very dark. There's areas in Fairview that are very dark, certain streets. Like some streets are lit up okay, and then there's others that are very dark. So I think we need to do that light audit as soon as we can. Fair and equitably in the four corners of the city of Espanola, we need to do a little light over there, a little light in 1, a little light in 2, a little light in 3. You know what I mean? Just getting more light. I think that deters a lot of naughtiness. But all in all, I can tell you that we're very pleased with the job you're doing. Just keep forging ahead, build the best department that you can build, and make tough decisions based on what you believe is right in your heart and right for this community.
I think Chief Garcia said it perfectly, just like it takes time, little by little, just even if it's crawling, but still, you know, just time.
Yeah. Okay, well, we certainly appreciate all of you guys. You know, thank you for everything that you do for us. You know, this community cannot function with you here. I know it's an inconvenience to your family to be out in the evening. I thank my fellow counselors for your commitment to be here this evening and for your commitment to Espanola. I know it's a sacrifice at sometimes. You know, sometimes we're off on our days and doing different things, and then you say, oh man, I got a committee meeting tonight. But you know, I'm grateful when you guys all show up, and I feel like we have the best group here. This is a really dynamic group that really wants to see and support the public safety of this community. So I'm just grateful for all of you guys, and I'm proud to call you my coworkers, and we'll have a nice evening. Everybody go home. We're scheduled for the first Wednesday of the month, which is April 5th. If that date doesn't work for you guys, please let me know so that we can reschedule, okay? Thank you all. Good night.